Welcome back, everybody. We are live. This is the Midgard finals. We have the Lambey's girls versus Lords of Ulster. I'm joined today on the desk with Sam Antics. Sam, say hello to the folks at home.
Hey everybody, thanks for that great introduction, Cowboy 076. I believe that's how it's pronounced.
It's Cowboy to you.
Oh, Mr. Cowboy, gotcha. Won't make that mistake again, Mr. Cowboy. But
Right.
we're about to get into the picks and bans here for Lords of Ulster versus Lambie's Girl, as Cowboy said, in the Midgard finals. And I'm looking forward to a good set here. We're gonna get into what a best of five. We're thinking.
I believe so. It's a best of five. Hopefully, we go all 5 games. That'd be great to see.
Yeah, get some exciting games out here. But noted first, we see a Clidna band coming out for Lords of Ulster. And,
Yeah, got
pretty standard, I would say.
they have a little spice band there. It's a Scylla band. That's actually directly targeted at Chair Force. He's a little bit of a Scylla main. But I am being told by production that he is playing jungle today. Maybe Lambie's girls didn't know about that. Then of course Achilles, pretty normal band too, I'd say. What do you think about these bands, Sam?
I think that outside of Clidna, I think we have three target bands here because you really don't see the Achilles band comes out. Like, he was pretty common band, like around season 7, like near middle, maybe a little bit towards the end. But with the arrival of the new gods or whatever, such as Gilgamesh here, we started seeing less and less banning of him, and Robin definitely feels like a target band because you really never see him. And then following out the or ending out the first round of bans for Lambie's girls is, I would say, pretty standard. Persephone.
Yeah, Persephone's just annoying, and that team fight ultimate late game. I mean, it's just enough to change the victory in your favor. Pretty good, solid band to finish out with. But that
Yep.
does leave a lot of other flavor picks that you've been seeing a lot in like ranked games up, like Bastet, for example.
Such as
Um,
Shiva, like
Shiva, yes.
the first pick for Lords of Ulster here,
Hey, yeah.
left open. Hovered Zeus and locked in, and then the Cabrakan also locked in for Lambie's girls. Seen a little bit of a mixed idea here. Zeus likes to stay back, do damage and arc off other people. Cabrakan likes to be in your face. So I'm thinking we're seeing definitely our mid and probably our jungle here. I'm gonna go ahead and say this Cabrakan's gonna go into the jungle. And
Bracken
Charybdis.
Jungle. Like it.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
no,
just my
I
guess.
agree. Ribdus and Bacchus, that's going to make for a pretty solid duo lane there.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think the Bacchus is just in case that is going to the support. He can actually interrupt that ground pound pretty well with his belch and with his knockup. So it could be a good little counter here into the duo aggression Bacchus into the Cabrakan if we do find him going into the duo lane.
and with Chari, of course, you can get out of the ultimates of both Zeus and Cabrakan, so that's a pretty good, strong pick. Stay safe here.
Right, I didn't even think about the idea that maybe Zeus is going into the dual lane as well, honestly. With his new change to his shields with the attack speed and the movement speed onto that shield now, maybe we're seeing Zeus. But looks as if Cabrakan is not going to be going into the dual lane because we have a pretty standard support god here in Ganesha.
Yeah, Ganesh, pretty good pick. I enjoy the Ganesh if I'm wanting to play a real support. Um, but getting back into the bands here, Adaji, I'd say that's pretty common right now. You see a lot of people in SPL and in ranked games been running the Adaji, at least in my games, that is.
Well, definitely today. You saw a decent amount, like just in the seating, the Masters seating today. You saw a lot of Dodgy actually picked up, I believe, for the Bolts. They ran some Dodgy and maybe a little bit for the Dragons. Um,
Yeah,
Maybe I
very.
saw one in the Onis as well.
I can't remember exactly, but yeah, she's a very high damage burst assassin. Definitely good right now. We have a Izanami, kind of standard hunter band, and a Tiamat. How do you feel about Tiamat right now, Sam? I kind of don't know if she's at the top of the line like she used to be.
Definitely not where she used to be, but I still think she's a very solid mid pick. You have to be a little bit safe in the beginning because her abilities aren't doing that much damage yet, and she likes to get that cooldown online before she can actually start getting those minions out earlier and getting her stance switch, her jump ability, and the same thing. Get those on low cooldowns uh, so that she's more effective in fights. Likes to get the life steal on with the soul gem. uh, but yeah, to answer your question, I agree that she is not quite where she used to be.
Yeah,
But seeing Chalk end out Lord of Ulster's bands here on the other side, and followed by a Jingwei pickup. So I guess we're seeing the dual lane of Ganesha Jingwei. Kabrakan, I still think is going to be in the jungle. We might see him flex into solo, but I think he's going to be more jungle. And Zeus in mid for the Lambey's girls.
yeah, definitely two safe dual lane hunters right there. Probably won't see near as much fighting as we're used to, but hey, can't ever count them out. They'll definitely have a lot of damage late game. And these two hovers here could make the team for the a comp that is for the Lords of Ulster pretty solid. Yeah, with the Zone Kui. I like the Zone Kui pickup here. He's just pretty hard to kill, so it doesn't really matter who you put, or it doesn't matter he's fighting against Zeus per se. He can try to outlive and just get his damage off. And in a Willix, don't see much of her now these days, do we, Sam?
Not so much, but seeing that there are four knockups, not or pulls that can be affected by her ultimate in this comp as of right now, she I think she's a pretty effective way to round out this draft of Lords of Ulster, and we're just now waiting for Lambey's girls to get their final pick in. And as you were saying before, I do believe that Jingwei Charybdis is going to be, as soon as the supports leave, it's going to be just Farmville from there on. Honestly, they're going to be, just getting camps, maybe a little bit of struggle over the XP, or maybe a purple invade if like one gets the upper hand, one has to leave, unless that's Jingwei, because she can just come back with her passive. So yeah, I do believe there's going to be very little fighting and a whole lot of farming over there in the duo lane, and we're still
Uh,
waiting for that last pick.
yeah, spoken quite well. I definitely agree with you. Definitely still kind of, I guess this is right now we're wondering whether Cabrakan is solo or jungle here. Um, I don't really
I
know
would look
exactly.
into yeah, I would look into a Willix actually ganking Lambie's girls duo pretty often with that knockup that Jingwei wants to do to herself, to get that extra stim. Um, you might be seeing a little bit of gank opportunity there for a Willix. Maybe some beads burning to get the crib dissolve off easier. Maybe get some kills over there. Guan Yu, speaking of beads burning, got
So
one of those ults that you just probably need beads to fight against sometimes.
exactly, and that's actually, haven't seen the most out of him at least in our league, but I like this pick, especially into uh, the Shiva. Should be pretty good. They both can kind of heal and CC immune ults. It should be a pretty hard solo lane to be ganking.
Right. I don't know if we're gonna be seeing Shiva go into the solo. Now, I'm assuming it's gonna be. Well, yeah. I guess it has to be, doesn't it? Huh? I don't
I
know.
hate seeing a Willix solo. I might,
I don't
I
know.
might
It's I didn't even think about that when I said it. I was like, because like in my mind, Shiva's just a jungle player. But I guess yeah, we did see we do see Shiva probably going to be going to that solo lane there. So yes, as you were saying before, good sustain on Guan Yu, good sustain in the Shiva ult. At least when it comes to health sustain, at least. Yeah, so that
right.
rounds out the drafts here for both teams. And what are you thinking? Which way are you leaning for this comp here? For these comps?
Lords of Ulster is screaming, we're going to win early game. So if they can wrap this up in 20 to 23 minutes, they win. But if this game goes past the 23-minute marker, Lambie's Girls has one of those late game comps that's just nasty to deal with. I mean, you've got Zeus damage, Ganesh, and Guan Yu set up with the Jingwei, I'd hate to be Lords of Ulster when all of them hit level 20.
Right, maybe a little buffer there. They got a little early game buffer in Cabrakan on the Lambey's girls, but I will agree. I do believe that the Lords of Ulster, maybe their aggression in the early damage on a Willix, Bacchus jumping in, being aggressive, Shiva being able to probably get an upper hand, at least on Guan Yu in the solo lane because Shiva does do a little bit more than Guan Yu early. I would say that Lords of Ulster probably uses their aggression to their advantage and likely wraps this up quickly before I would say before Jingwei or Guan Yu become like too effective or Zeus does too much damage. Just because with the dive ability on Zeus, I don't know. He might look like Venenu today, unable to get his feet on the ground.
Yeah, I agree.
So I
So
do
anyway,
believe we're going to be moving on to a break then, and then we'll be coming back to our casters, who is going to be Double A and King Curvis.
All right, everyone. Midgard Division Finals. Lords of Ulster versus Lambey's Girls. My name's Double A, and I'm joined with King Curvis.
Howdy there. Quick shout out from the chat to that cutie cowboy. You got some lovers in the chat, cowboy. You better go visit.
And I believe Flamio Hotman dropped some subs as well, so thanks, man. Gifted
Thank
some
you
subs.
very much. Yeah, and hopefully we get an exciting game for him. He gets to watch us cast it.
But over here, Bacchus and Charybdis. Bacchus not wasting any time, gonna jump immediately in onto this Ganesha, trying to get those body blocks out. And he's doing some good damage. Ganesha's really low, one shot, and is gonna live. And right off the bat, we're gonna have some great action.
Early gank over here by Willix as well, looking to possibly clean up this final kill onto Ganesh if he steps out of the power line.
Yeah, Wheelix still just waiting over by that purple buff, and Bacchus gonna jump in once again. Now Wheelix is here. The knockup comes out, and Chair Force gonna grab that first kill onto Mustard.
Nice early first kill there by your wife's new boyfriend, or Charaforce as he's known. We also see some aggression here in the solo lane. Might have to hold my thoughts. No, it doesn't look like it. So that early Willix gank, Cridge 2 gank. Oh,
Cabrakan, yeah,
Zealous
tried to
looking for an early
capitalize.
gank. For those that know Lambey's team, this is a very common play for them. They do like to play into that solo early. I'm surprised actually he's already, a minute and a half and only getting into that lane now. Zealous likes to gank over in that corner. Put his solo laner further ahead. Chair Force also pushing some early pressure onto that left side, making the duo lane much more comfortable. We talked a lot about in the chat about how this Ganesh is going to counter out this Bacchus as well as the Cardibus. How do you think that matchup in the duo is going to go overall, though, Double A?
Well, Jingwei is going to have the kind of that safety that she always has, able to back when she needs, and just be able to kind of pop ult to get out of a situation if need be. We're going to see Cabrakan rotate to this camp as well, and just going to scare off a Wheelix. He's going to steal that big Harpy.
Nice aggression there by the Cabrakan to play over into that jungle. Speed is up. He's looking to possibly steal it as well. We're going to see an early 2.5 minute steal of the yellow buff, possibly.
Yeah, potentially. Looks like he does leave the big camp up, but over in the solo lane, or a dual lane as well, Jingwei looking really low as Charybdis dropping those autos, trying to whittle her down, and she's going to have to retreat under tower as well as Ganesha, Charybdis, and Bacchus have all that pressure as expected, as Bacchus is so aggressive in the early game. Charybdis pretty decent herself.
Yeah, Charybdis definitely comes a lot more online around that second or third item once he gets Kinsize online. Zealous over here in the back line, I don't know what he's doing, if he's just taking the minis on all these other camps, but I saw him at the red buff there for a bit as well.
Yeah,
just looking to steal some free
yeah.
XP, I guess. Oh no, he did drop it. Okay.
I don't know if that was a glitch because I didn't think it looked like it was down either, but yeah, I mean, able to steal those camps immediately is going to bring an advantage to his team for sure. Cabrakan, a little dangerous, I feel like, to kind of march into the enemy territory, but you do have that damage right off the bat with those stuns, so.
Not to mention the slow immunity out of his one is pretty relatively free, and his damage early game, like Sam was mentioning, is pretty much their main early game aggressor. So it's good to see him kind of taking some camps. Mind you, he is sacrificing his own XP to do so.
Right.
But, doing it relatively safely at this point.
Bacchus once again engaging onto Jingwei, gets a knockup, but Ganesha able to drop that silence right on top of him, so he's not able to do any more damage.
Yeah, as we talked about, that Ganesh is really going to counter out that Bacchus's jump, interrupt his burp. Pretty much everything that he wants to do, he's going to be able to do. As well as Chartibus diving in 2 or 3, Ganesh is also able to silence that if it catches it early enough.
He's there again. Yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and farm up as much as he can. He's gonna try to grab that ult. Start getting some
especially on this Cabrakan pig. Zealous is really known to really farm up and focus on this right side of the map, especially in the early game. Kind of put their pressure from right into mid, less in the duo lane. He has a lot of faith over there in his duo lane, especially with the Jinwei is relatively safe. Not really looking to help out his teammate and just kind of focus into the more difficult lane matchups.
An interesting storyline as well is, you know, Chairforce, your wife's new boyfriend in Smite is his name. He switched to jungle just for this match. I mean, he's been mid the entire season up until this point. So, you know, maybe Lambey's girl's looking to capitalize on that, the inexperience potentially being there, as he's been that mid player for almost the entire season.
Yeah, we are going to see Willix possibly go down here. Not able to get the jump in time, and the stun out of the Guan ult was enough. And a early pickup kill there for Budweiser Cranker.
Yeah, good kill. Pops the ult, just whittles down that Awilix. She couldn't get away. Didn't have her leap up, it seemed like, and she did end up going down. So not a amazing start for the jungle for Lords of Ulster. You know, down some of that farm, but does have the only kill for Lords of Ulster.
Yeah. Guan Yu, hard matchup into Shiva usually, but he's been playing it relatively well. Shiva looking like possibly going into a Glad Shield or Berserkers, so Guan already having the 20% cooldown and much more physical defense is probably going to put him at an advantage in these trades, I believe. Not to mention his own, you know, life's heal, sorry. I know Shiva does have a heal, but that's primarily in the ult, even though it is an insane amount of healing out of that ult.
Definitely. And one thing else to note, they are playing with a sub and honorary team member, Lords of Ulster is, over in mid lane Jaeger. On that Jean Kui is going to be playing as a league sub. Has played quite a few matches, but Shiva going to go down. Budweiser Cranker going to go ahead and take down Warm Apple Pie. They're diving tower with the ultimate.
I did mention how much healing gets off. However, there's that still slight delay before the dance movement is actually fully popped, and he wasn't able to get the HP. And it was a nice, quick pickup kill there for Budweiser, and good recognition from him as well.
Oh,
as you were mentioning, Jaeger, well, let's look at this fight quickly. Where are you going?
Gonna have to dash out. Ganesh ultimate comes out. Zeus is looking low as well as Jean Kui ultimate gets that last tick, and down goes Zeus. Jaeger able to pick that one up. Cabrakan, though, not giving up on this fight. Gonna jump right onto Jean Kui. Awilix rotating back in. Bacchus gets a knock up and a pull right into that Awilix ultimate, and Jaeger is gonna finish off the kill onto Cabrakan. Here comes Jingwei, though, looking for vengeance to bring back her team in this team fight. Jean Kui looking really low, being whittled down with that third ability from the Guan Yu, and he's on the run. But the rotation from his team, the knockup as well. Guan Yu taking a bunch of damage, going to use that ultimate to get out, as Jean Kui still on the run. But finally, we're going to see him go down as Mizu going to grab that kill.
Good little early pickup. Actually, looking at the Jean Kui here, interesting enough, going straight into 2 defense items right off the hop.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Looking to be a little more tanky, but it could, you know, potentially goes, you know, you could potentially go a different build instead and get more damage off, of course.
I mean, obviously, he's done enough damage here in the early game. It's going to pay off. My main worry with this so far is that it kind of reminds me of a solo lane build, and they're not going to have a lot of magical power as we get close to that level 20.
Oh, no, Shiva! Cabrakan going to use that ultimate, trap him in, and Zealous picking up a kill onto Warm Apple Pie.
Really good wall there by the Cabrakan. Great job by Zealous, able to close him out before he was able to rush out of there in his dance form.
Yeah, that's a good pickup. Cabrakan able to kind of counter a few people on the other team. Jean Kui not able to get out. We just saw Shiva get trapped as well. And then I believe Charybdis will get walled as well.
Charybdis is able to dash under the wall using her 3. But Cabrakan's walls are still going to be extremely potent, especially paired with that Ganesh, who's going to silence everybody out of those jumps and really just lock a team down if those two are side by side. So in those team fights, especially when we start looking at golds and fire giants, I think those combination of those two characters are going to be extremely potent.
Both these teams looking to be aggressive. Bacchus jumping in once again here towards this mid lane. Gonna have to back off. It's about 6 people posturing in that area.
We're seeing pretty much an even leveling here. The duo lane does have a slight lead, maybe a half lead. Most of that gold and XP is probably over there in the duo right now, but pretty much even at this point. Nice little gank here by the Willish.
Yep, gonna go ahead and drop almost all of her abilities. She's chasing now on that Jaguar, but Jingwei with that ultimate's able to get out and back under tower.
Wife's new boyfriend did pop, or we just missed it. Not sure. It is down currently, so.
We do see Rumble Pie go down once again over in the solo lane. Getting ganked as jungle rotated over. That Cabrakan, a little bit of a vendetta towards Shiva right now. Like you said, when we started this game, it seems like they're just trying, Lambey's girls trying to get that solo lane up.
As an old player of Zealous, as well as somebody who's played him, he has a very high focus into that lane, and often they play around it, and it works very well for this team. And we're kind of seeing it right now. He's letting the duo lane, you know, they picked a relatively safe god in that form of the Jinwei, so he doesn't have to rotate there often, and he's able to focus on the mid and solo lane quite a bit more.
Junqui able to steal away those harpies from Zeus. Rumble Pie able to secure that blue buff with the help of a Wheelish. Guan Yu did rotate over, but wasn't able to secure it. But over here, it's messy as Guan Yu is fighting Ganesha, Cabrakan ultimate, and Ganesha and Cabrakan ultimate, excuse me, did get dropped.
Obviously, Jaeger's defense items definitely come in handy there, as he was able to get out, you know, relatively unscaled thanks to his healing as well. Zeus did pick up Divine first item and is going a Celestial Helm. And oh, okay, for a second there, I was wondering what was going on. I thought he was buying a mask, but he does sell it and goes into the stone.
Could have been a spicy build there, but decides to go pretty standard, which is good. Especially here, unless you're trying to pull something out for sure.
Mage is opting for the survivability route here. Zeus, though, however, going to impact the team quite a bit more with his ranged AoE. Zong offering quite a bit of AoE as well, but he does need to be frontlining there with the rest of his team.
Bacchus strutting his way to this duo lane. Charybdis is up a level so far onto that Jingwei. 3-5 here, 10 minutes in, 12 minutes in. Lambey's girls up just slightly in this game right now. Jingwei's going to go for this camp on the left, but Bacchus and Charybdis are both here looking to corner her. Belch comes out. It will give a slight stun to Jingwei. She does pop her dash and the ultimate. It does get her further away, but down goes Bacchus' ultimate, and Jingwei will end up living with about half health.
Jinwei just such a slippery character. Oh, we do see him, Bill Gates falling over to Jaeger.
Yeah, he does go
sorry.
down. Jaeger
Opposite.
goes down, yep.
Yeah.
Both jungles rotating to this far purple buff. Cabrakan coming in here, trying to land that stun. Wheelix dodging it, but does get stunned. Now there goes the whole kit. Zell's picking up a kill. Charybdis ultimate as well, biting down onto that Jingwei, but it won't be enough to get the kill. And now Bacchus, Charybdis the only one over here for Lords of Ulster.
Good recognition by Indigo there, not to overcommit. Instantly dashes out, recognizing that the rest of the team is coming on for him. Often people will get so hyper focused on the fact that he just hit that ult and took 3/4 of the HP out of that Jingwei, but recognized the rest of the team was coming and decided to leave.
Yeah,
We don't see any neutral objectives really postured so far by either team, and both teams are famously known for going for those early objectives. So the gold difference, not that much. We are seeing a little bit of an XP difference, but with all the neutrals kind of staying, oh, we do see a short pause.
How do you know it's short?
Oh, I know it's 2 minutes.
Oh, it must be psychic over here.
I must know these things.
Well, do you want to still talk about the game here?
Sure, we can still talk about
So,
the game.
Lords of Ulster down just slightly in this game. We did see that 2,000 XP difference. We're about 13 and a half minutes in. In your mind, what does Lords of Ulster have to do? We did hear Cowboy talk on the desk about how Lords of Ulster was looking to be more early game. You know, they do have that Bacchus and some other kind of more early game gods on their roster. Is there something that they could do at this point that would get them back in the game?
I mean, they're pretty much in this game still. Yeah, they're down 4 kills, but the goal difference at this point is only 630. XP is nothing astronomical. Right now, we're looking at a pretty fairly matched and even game. What I would like to see is probably some little bit more focus on these backline characters. Jingwei is going to just get away from you, especially in lane. So you're going to have to look to gank her when you're in a team fight in the jungle. Or you're going to have to look at these immobile gods like Zeus and just focus that AoE damage out of the fight so that you can use your AoE to the advantage. We've been seeing a lot of good, 2v3s out of Ulster right now, but we haven't seen like a really good grouping or a good focus. It's just kind of I see somebody, we're going to fight them. So I just think they need a little bit more focus on these backlines, and they'll definitely be shifting the fights. But like I said, at this point, it's not really Lambey's winning. They are currently up, but not so astronomical that it's a runaway.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they are down just a little bit of XP. Looking at the levels, pretty much everyone here is even except for that jungle in mid. Mid down 1 level, jungle down 2 for Lords of Ulster. So, definitely just looking to get that farm up, like you said. If they can get objectives, for sure. They have decent secure, but nothing too crazy. I believe Jingwei and maybe Zeus have some better secure, or at least something they could throw onto an objective that would definitely help them out. But like I said, this has been kind of a chaotic but safe game, as the team fights have been plentiful, but there hasn't been a lot of that objective fighting just yet.
Like which is very uncommon for me from both of these teams. Well, we're gonna see a quick unpause and back into the action, but yeah, both of these teams usually have a really good focus on the neutral farm. So it must be just a high focus, like Zealous is looking to steal out the XP from the other team majority-wise. We're seeing him rotate deep into the jungles quite often. And I guess with the carries, they're just looking to get a little bit further in before they look to contest gold or pyro.
See some fighting over those Harpies once again. Both teams looking to grab that farm where they can get it for sure. As Ganesha and Zeus here doing a good job of trying to keep their XP up. Bacchus doing his best to engage as well. Did see that belly flop come out. Awelix as well rotating towards this mid lane. The supports clash over here towards Lambey's girl's red buff. Stun comes out, but no team fight yet.
Hopefully we can see a Willix pick on one of these more squishy characters, whether it's, the Jinwei as she's ulting, or maybe a knock up on that Zeus. I mean, they do have the Bacchus, which should be easy to get a backline pick, especially if beads are down.
I definitely agree. If they can get some of those picks, or even, I think I was talking to you about this. I mean, the ultimate on Awelix is just so potent even without that pole, so
yeah,
just popping that.
People often forget about the 70% attack speed you get from just popping the ult, which just makes her insane at attack cancels, and the fact that she can avoid damage while doing damage to you on her feather step. She's an insane character, and a lot of people forget that it's not all about the ult, but what we're looking at right now is we need some of those ults to get that backline characters out, or the more slippery characters like Jingwei. So hopefully we see that coming into some of those games, and I could definitely see these team fights shifting. Right now the team fights have been in favor of Lambey's girls, but Lords of Ulster is not letting it really run away. They're maybe just giving up a kill here or there, which is good. They're not opting for a full team wipe.
Both these teams dropping a bunch of wards, both supports fighting over just vision in this game, as it's so important. I believe 2 sentry wards were used as Ganesha and Bacchus just slapped each other's wards, trying to get rid of them first. But I know Flamio is well known for having a bunch of wards in these games, 20 plus, or 25 plus even. So
yeah, Flamio definitely leads the league in wards place, something that I know my own support Tomahawk was quickly fighting for as well. We do see an ult here out of Jingwei after a feather step comes out of the Willish. good amount of damage. Unfortunately, she's not able to pull off that ult. But now knowing it's down, maybe Chairforce is able to put a little bit more pressure into that duo lane.
Here's that objective. Pyromancer being pulled by Lambey's girls. Shiva's gonna rotate over, but sees it. There's 3 members. Oh, Zeus ultimate as well. Gonna get dropped. Shiva trying to come in here for a steal. Not gonna have to use that dash to get out. But on the other side of the field, Gold Fury gonna get started here as well.
Hopefully a good recognition here by Ulster, noticing that they were on Pyro. However, a little bit late on the pull, and it is allowing the other team to rotate in.
Lambey's able to steal that away. Kabrakan ultimate is down. Bacchus barely hanging on. Does get the stun and ult off on the Budweiser Cranker, but it won't be enough to save his life. But now he's fighting as the Charybdis ultimate does come out, doesn't connect, and now Shiva being absolutely clustered over here by the red buff, and with the Zeus ability will go down. Warble Pie falling there, but that's 4 members down for Lords of Ulster, and that's a turnaround in this game, hey, Kerbis?
Definitely, that's a huge team fight. A lot of these games run around those big team wipe clears. They did take gold, they did take Pyro. That is going to definitely shift the gold into their favor.
Yeah, and finally we're going to see that lead become more immense as grabbing all this gold, gonna take a speed camp there just for fun. Although Wheelix, did she steal it away? She did.
She was able to get it there with her 3, able to snag out enough damage. But she is all alone here against, is that 5 of the Lambeys? Better not get caught out.
Yeah, they tried to get her, but she was just quick enough with that cougar. I don't know what animal that is, but whatever. Jaguar? It's a jaguar. That's what it is. Maybe she's
Alright, cougars are on the mind. I get it, Double A. I get it.
But anyway, yeah, we do. See the rest of her team back up now and healthy. Both objectives down. Fire Giant, the only one up. 18 minutes in. Potentially starting to look that way as a few members getting close to that level 20 mark.
We do see Jingwei opting for the double crit in Atalantis as well as Wind Demon. Typically we see the kid size builds, but Atalantis giving some more life steal. With no anti-heal currently on the side for Lords of Ulster outside of that Pestilence, it was probably a really good pickup. Oh, I did miss the beat stick as well by a Willish, but Zhonghui opting to go Obsidian Shard rather than Divine. I have just apparently been out of the meta long enough in mid, and I have not recognized that mids are apparently building double defense items.
What a pickup by Charybdis as Chairforce rotated in, just being a nuisance, and then Charybdis rotates in and gets the kill. Great little job over that purple buff.
And I quickly mentioned in the chat, I think Sam is right. I think Double A likes the Cougars and a Willix rather than a Willish. Good kill there by Indigo onto the Mitsu, like you had said. That was a really important pickup, especially for that duo. Charybdis 1-0-1, currently the best stat line for his team.
Damage-wise as well, going to be at the top of the charts. We do see about a 7k XP difference, pretty substantial at that 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and like I had said, Warm Apple Pie unfortunately getting the worst end of the stick, but this is something that Lambey's is known for, to put a lot of pressure onto the solo. I know as a solo laner, I often get this pressure. So I understand what kind of pain he's going through right now at a 0-4 and 0 stat line. It is incredibly hard to come back, especially against that Guan Yu, who is now almost level 20, 5-0-2.
Definitely. You're pretty familiar with Warm Apple Pie, I believe. You won the SPL Fantasy.
Yes, he did. Congratulations and shout out to Warm Apple Pie for having the highest score in the Fantasy League. Well done. We'll see if he's able to win the Masters draft as well.
Make sure you check that out. If you want to play SPL Fantasy, go ahead and talk to King Kerbis.
Well, thanks, man, for the shout out. Appreciate it.
But, yeah, about 4 kills so far for Lords of Ulster. Looking to get back in this game, down a little bit. Definitely not out by any means.
I mean, the duo lanes got it, but the jungle and mid are definitely feeling a lot of pain right here. A Willish being, 2 levels down. Same with the mid. They are the 2 main focus that really need to get farm up. and they're two of the hardest to get farm at this point, especially when the other team is deathballing around every camp.
Yeah, it's never fun. I hate playing against a death ball personally. Obviously, when you're doing it, it feels great because you're able to kind of just get the damage off and find somebody and get a pick if you can. But definitely hard to play against. Your team needs to rotate over and make sure that you're fighting at least semi-even on those team fights. But gonna be hard when they're down so much XP as well.
Yeah, I mean, XP is one thing, especially if they can make it into this late game. The Fire Giant dance is going to be really interesting and kind of determine whether or not they just have to give up this first Fire Giant before it becomes enhanced, or if they even make a show. However, if they make a show and die there, it might be game here for Lords of Ulster, so it's a risky play. Might get them back into this game, but also might end it for them. So personally, I think they should probably just focus on farming, not contest too much, especially like a Gold Fury. If they contest for this, it might be a little too risky. We do see the rest of Lambey's girls kind of posturing on that side of the map, so they might be looking to go for the gold.
Potentially Charybdis hitting that 20 level mark before Jingwei. Kind of shows the damage and farm coming out so far.
Yeah, Indigo doing a really good job here on Charybdis. I know also playing against him over here, this is a core pick for him, and he's very comfortable on it, and he does very well, and we're seeing it here as well. I mean, it is a super safe character, and he plays it and pilots it very well. We're going to see Lambey's here go into the Gold Fury pit. Bacchus looking to possibly do a pop in and maybe just do enough damage.
Oh.
Hopefully it won't give his life.
That's a lot of ultimate. Zeus and Ganesh ultimate get dropped. Bacchus jumps in, but it's going to cost him his life. Now Zealous able to grab that kill, looking to approach as well. Guan Yu pressuring Zhang Kui. The ult gets dropped. Cabrakan going to wall Charybdis in. It's not going to be enough for her to get out as she pops her ultimate. And Peach Bill Gates able to grab that kill. Zhang Kui as well, fighting back in the mid lane, but he will go down as Guan Yu is able to stab him right in the back, and he is absolutely going to be out of that fight.
They showed up for Gold Fury, and unfortunately they paid for their life. Really good job there by Zealous and Cabrakan to hold the ult till after Char had actually done the dash. Not able to get under the walls if she can't go into the true monster form.
Guan Yu looking to push back. Oelix, he's doing just that, but Shiva slipped through, looking to engage with this team as they're going to start Fire Giant. About half health now. Oelix rotating in here once again, but Guan Yu's trying to keep her away and doing a good job of it. She's down to about half health. Fire Giant dwindling. Lambey's girls is able to secure it, and Oelix as well to sweeten the deal. Shiva pops the ultimate, but has to cancel it just a dash to get out. Bacchus looking to grab a stun on Guan Yu, but the beads get popping. The ultimate's back up once again. Shiva really low, gets knocked up, and Zealous able to finish that off with the ultimate as Bacchus is on the run. Run, fat man, run. But he is able to get back under Phoenix, and now 3 members of Lords of Ulster are able to defend this Phoenix potentially, as down goes a tier 2 tower here in the Soul Lane.
2 lives, they'll be down in the gray screen for at least another 20 more seconds. That is a 5v3 with Fire Giant. This Phoenix falls, and hopefully these 3 players do not fall as well, because they are the last line here between Lambey's girls and the first win. Lambey's looks like they're opting to actually just take towers, taking the little bit safer route. Not necessarily a bad call. I would have loved to see an early aggression into the Phoenix, but not necessarily the smartest play.
Gonna go ahead and drop another tier 2 tower, and now heading towards the left to grab tier 1 is still up over here on the left side.
Yeah, we got both towers here. Lots of gold sitting on the map here for Lambey's girls, and probably a lot of Fire Giant time. So they can probably take both these back, level up, finish their starters. All of them still, I think, currently holding their starter items. I do see them backing.
Yeah, they're gonna go ahead and reset. It looks like.
Yeah, going for a quick reset. I guess their plan is to probably just push down right lane completely. So rather than taking the 2 towers and then backing, they're opting to back so that they can go tower, straight to Phoenix with what's left over for the Fire Giant.
Definitely looking to be kind of an overwhelming force potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Fire Giant gonna be up here in what, 3 minutes? So there's still quite a lot of time before he's gonna be up. So looking to push this left lane, maybe drop some more towers, or yeah, push a Phoenix is probably what I would prefer to do
Yeah.
in this situation.
Yeah, they're gonna hard push to the right. You know, the Furnace Phoenix away from the Fire Giant creates the most time for the teams when you do engage it. So I like this call. Going, backing, getting your starters upgraded, getting your items, pushing down this complete lane, and Lords of Ulster looking to just possibly get some extra farm out of it while the team pushes down the towers. They do, however, want to start rotating over to this Phoenix, I hope, because they might
they
be
need
looking
back
to lose it.
as quickly as possible. They do grab the Pyromancer, but they gotta defend this Phoenix as the entire team marching down and starting to attack this Phoenix is at half health. Team fight engages. Shiva ultimate gets popped. Bacchus with the double knockup, but Guan Yu's gonna go immediately into that ultimate. As Charybdis fighting back pretty well. Cabrakan ultimate comes out, but Impeach Bill Gates is the one to pick up the first blood over here on this Phoenix Siege. Another one goes down, and 3. Budweiser Cranker picking up that one as Jingwei with a vengeance coming in here, looking to grab another kill. Zealous is the one to finish him off, and now a deicide for Lords of Ulster, and this Titan should be dead in game 1. Gonna go the way of Lambey's girls.
Game 1 definitely going into the favor for them. We'll see what goes on into game 2.
Yeah, great game 1 for sure. Lambey's girls able to snowball after a few great team fights. We'll go ahead and show you these numbers just for a second, and then be back with the desk.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. What an exciting set this is already making out to be. I'm back on the desk again with Sam Antics. And before Sam says hi to everyone, I just want to say I was
Hi.
right. I said the game goes past 23 minutes. It will be a win for Lambey's girls. Now, Sam, go ahead and say hi to the folks.
I already did it, Mr. Cowboy. But big shout out to King Curvis on the cast. Double A was there as well. Also, we're jumping into the Lambey's girls versus the Lord of Ulsters. Lambey's go ahead and getting 1-0 into this best of 5. As Cowboy mentioned it before, me and here we're just gonna go ahead and break this down a little bit. Honestly, what I saw throughout the game was mid and jungle just kind of got away from Lords of Ulster there for me. Honestly, anytime I'd look down, I'd see what a 2-level deficit. You know, maybe a whole item ahead when it came to impeach. I don't know if that's impeach as they were pronounced it on the desk. I feel like it's impeach. Yeah, Bill Gates.
Impeach Bill Gates.
And Zealous, we're
Impeach
always
Bill
about a
Gates on there.
2-level lead, and like seeing your wife's new boyfriend actually didn't even reach max level that game over there in the jungle. So I feel like, you know, as we mentioned before, Lords of Ulster actually, I do believe they're not playing with their full crew that they're used to. They have a sub, and it seems as if some people are also not playing in their roles. So that might be playing a little bit into what we see happening here. You know, maybe a little bit of discomfort, maybe unfamiliarity, but it did seem pretty clean cut. From where I'm standing, at least, for Lambey's girls 1-0 there.
Yeah, definitely. I think that messes with the team feng shui. You know, that's one of those fancy words Double A's likes to use. But the teams, you
Yeah.
know, just normal
Culture.
vibes, the cool vibes that the team has. Not a Double A word. But what I saw too is that the solo lane for Lambey's just kind of they made the Shiva just not look real well, you know, for to be such a powerful pick, which I agree. I think Shiva's more of a jungle pick, like you had said earlier. But yeah, if I'm going to do anything, if I'm Lords of Ulster, I'm going to try to stop that solo lane down, shut it down a little bit more, because Lambey or Budweiser Cranker was definitely cranking out the damage that game.
Yeah, definitely cranking the Budweisers there for sure. Yeah, I'd say that was also another point of contention for the Lords of Ulster. They were absolutely, you know, they were having to shut down the mid, the jungle, and the solo. I mean, it's a pretty neck and neck, I would say, in the duo lane. I would say for Lords of Ulster, the Charybdis was doing well in farming. Actually, notably, Charybdis did actually reach max level before the Jing waited. So efficient farming, I would say. The KD doesn't really say much. You know, coming out 1-2 but actually pretty close in damage numbers there was Indigo with Mizu. So yeah, I would say what I noticed a lot was with your wife's new boyfriend. Um, I would always see his ult just be gone, and I don't remember seeing anybody get pulled or like some sort of combination done there, some sort of CC chain that was set up by a knockup and brought in by a Willix. I don't remember seeing anything big happening. I just always remember the ult being down and nothing really coming of it. Maybe getting a beads, maybe getting a ult, and then it's just over from there. Maybe not a really
Right.
effective ult usage. It's same thing with Shiva. You'd see the Shiva Tendaya, which is the Shiva Tendava, which is the ultimate for Shiva, but then he would get blown up immediately. Like he would start dancing around and then he's dead before his fourth, pulse. So it was, unfortunate ult usage. I think to probably get cleaned up a little bit there in the next game if they're going to have a chance of winning if they're going to extend this game past this set past 3 games.
Yeah, well, one thing to remember is Willix's ult is a steroid as well. So maybe he was popping it before he went into fights, but yeah, definitely need to, time all your ults and stuff if you're going to have this kind of synergy together. But really, I guess we're about ready to go to break. Any other outliers outside of maybe shut down solo a little bit quicker? I don't really think the bans necessarily hurt them. How about you, Sam?
I don't know if there's any reason to ban anybody who got ahead. I just think maybe some of the team fight needs to be cleaned up and maybe get a little bit more efficient farm. I don't know if there's anything that really stood out to me that really needs to be banned. I think it's just all around, just needs to be cleaned up a little bit for the Lords of Ulster.
Right. Well, and with that, we'll go to a short break and be back with picking bands for the second set.
Oh.
Everyone, this is Cowboy and
Oh.
Semantics on the cast. Of course, we're back with the picking bands. Sam, are you expecting to see the same bands, or do you think both teams are going to shake it up a little?
Guten Tag, everybody. I'm Semantics, as you said, and I do believe we're probably going to see a little bit of a change of at least picks, I would say, for the Lords of Ulster. Maybe they have a little bit of bad taste in their mouth their last comp, and they want to fix that. But they are going to start off with that Kalinda ban, as they did last time. And Scylla and Sun Wukong come up for Lambey's girls. Scylla is the same from last. Sun Wukong not, though.
Yeah, it looks like a lot more of direct target bans, which hey, you like to see that in these leagues. It gets kind of old and looks like you're watching ranked games if everybody's banning the same stuff every game. But I like the flavor that these bans bring in. We are ending it with a Cthulhu and a Zeus, a little more of meta picks, I'd say. But definitely 6 strong bans right here.
Right. They didn't like. Achilles was also a band that Lords of Ulster did choose to go with last set and still kept it true. But they didn't like what Zeus did last year, so they went ahead and get rid of that one. Lambey's girls, in the wake of that band not coming out still, they pick up Shiva this time around. Maybe a different performance coming through than what we saw.
I really think that the Shiva is probably going to the jungle to be piloted by Zealous. I mean, he does like the Kabrakan. No doubt Shiva Kabrakan kind of have that same in your face run at him style. I wouldn't doubt if that is a Shiva jungle.
Yeah, I would go ahead and say that. I mean, because that is where he's best at. I think most would agree that Shiva probably belongs in the jungle right now. Same could be said for the other warrior that is picked for the Lords of Ulster. I think Gilgamesh belongs in the jungle right now. Sure,
Yeah,
both these gods can go into the solo, but you know where they're supposed to be played.
yeah, I agree, and I do know Chair Force's style when he plays jungle. He has played a lot of the Gilgamesh, so no doubt I'm pretty certain this is probably a Gilgamesh jungle. And we have the Chari pick up again for Indigo. It worked well for him, like you said, wasn't an impressive KD per se, but he played really well on it. So I'm glad they got it back for him again.
Right, if there was anything that went right for the Lords of Ulster last game, it was the Charybdis, and so why not, why not reprise that role again, coming out there, and maybe the whole team can get on board and try to get this going for the Lords of Ulster. Jingwei, with in the absence of Charybdis, go ahead and or no, with Charybdis on the board, why not pick up Jingwei? Played against it last match. Why not do it again? And then
It's actually,
also, go ahead.
it's actually the same duo lane, Ganesh and
Yeah.
Jingwei again, which really safe lane. And like I'm sure you was about to lead into the Persephone, she actually got banned away last time, so it's good to see her on the board.
Yes, of course. That was exactly what I was going to say. No, I was actually going to make a comment about the Ganesha, but yeah, new on the board here, Persephone. High pressure in the mid lane. Huge team fight ult. Persephone is just one of those gods, and one of the things that people don't really talk about for Persephone is her passive. It is they don't really much like the whole being kind of dead, kind of alive, being able to place plants. They don't like that part, but the other part of her passive, where she gets gold for all the fertilized seeds or whatever. Not fertilized. I don't even know what I'm saying. But either way, that is actually a pretty busted part of her kit, I think. Free gold for just doing what you do regularly. Not very often mentioned, but it's actually one of the reasons why Persephone is pretty strong, I would say, right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And going into the bans, they went ahead and banned away the Agni and the Chalk. I guess two more used picks in our league. I mean, what do you think about the bans, Sam?
I think that if you're playing Persephone, one of the gods who is really able to shut him down, I would say, is Agni. Really strong, able to use the flat pin really well in this current meta, and so I think it's a good ban to follow up the Persephone pick. Um, I was maybe they were thinking about going Agni or Persephone, and since they chose for Persephone, it's good to go ahead and get Agni off the board, and then high pressure, I would say, is probably something you want to get rid of because Shiva likely can't fight into that chalk. Um, Definitely not early and in the laning phase. So I would say that it's a good ban, followed by maybe take away some of that comfort that Lords of Ulster had in Bacchus. So go ahead and get that out of the way. And something that caused them a lot of trouble in the jungle was that Cabrakan.
Yeah, I do like the Kabrakan ban, but at the same time, if that Shiva is jungle, which we're pretty certain, it may have been a little bit of a wasted ban there.
Either wasted or Shiva was just a really good pick there because it is a flex god, able to, and obviously a warrior able to go and play the solo lane. So just I think it's a good idea picking Shiva in that area. So like you can kind of maybe get some waste bans if that is going to go into the jungle. So that Kabrakan ban, a result of maybe the ambiguity of this Shiva.
No doubt, no doubt.
Sobek, go ahead and, for the second round first pick, going to the Lords of Ulster. I do think maybe we're going to be seeing another Willix come up here for the jungle, if that's not a Gilgamesh.
I think maybe just they chose the Sobek since the Bacchus is banned out. Sobek's kind of able to do kind of that same aggressive in your face style like a Bacchus. Obviously, their kits are way different, but as far as what you want to accomplish with them, he seemed to do about the same.
Yeah, Bacchus notably a pretty hard god to kill because of his one, I guess that extra tankiness, his mobility, his stun, his CC. And same can be said about Sobek. Sobek a really hard god to kill because of just all the sustain he has in his kit and mobility. So Morgan Le Fay, I'll go ahead and locked in here for the Lambey's girls and Fenrir to round out the draft.
It's pretty aggressive, pretty strong. I don't feel that that is going to be a Shiva jungle anymore. With the Fenrir, because Fenrir solos.
Right, you're thinking Shiv is going to support, Ganesh is going to be a solo. obviously.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other good combos there.
Yeah,
It's pretty rough.
I think that's all we got.
And Morgan Le Fay, a pretty good poke mage. I think she does pretty decent into the Persephone, so it should be a good matchup there.
I
And
think
a
she's gonna
uh,
struggle. I
uh,
mean, you know, if I were Persephone at the same skill level as a Morgan Le Fay, I would say that Persephone definitely has that pressure there in lane. But we are seeing a Ravana to round out the draft for the Lord of Ulster.
yeah, Ravana. Well, I'm starting to think that that's a, Gilgamesh solo as well. Ravana though, he's in an okay spot. What do you think about Ravana right now, Sam?
I think Ravana can never be like a bad god. I just think he does pressure well, but he lacks in I think an escapability outside of his ult. So he either has to choose to engage with his ult, finish kills, but that CC immunity in his kick and his two ability is a very strong ability. Able to get out of different CCs such as like notably like a dodgy, like if you're in a dodgy ult, he can just kick flip out of it, immune, go away, walk away. I really like that part of his kit, but I don't think he's as strong on this current meta as, say, a Fenrir is.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Overall, who do you give the advantage to?
I would say that seeing last game's performance and just how well this Lambey's girls team played together, and just the pure dominance that we saw really from the solo lane and the mid and the jungle, I'm gonna have to lean towards Lambey's until I'm proven wrong here and I see some adjustment here. So maybe with a few different drafts here, we'll see Lords of Ulster put up like a better fight here.
Yeah, I agree. I think Lambie's Girls ultimately wins late game, but if Lords of Ulster executes with the people they have, I think they can win this. And with that, I think we're going to go to a quick break, and of course, then it'll be uh, the legendary King Curvis and Just Double A back on the cast.
All right. Game 2 starting here in this best of 5 set for the Midgard Division Finals. Lambey's girls took game 1, looking to secure game 2 here. My name is Double A. Once again, I am joined with King Curvis.
Welcome back, Smite fans. I don't get to bring the intros, apparently. I'm not good enough. Not goated like our fine owner Double A here. So Double A, what are you thinking here? We're seeing some interesting picks on the side of Lords of Ulster, and even more interesting is their placements.
Yeah, we're going to see Gilgamesh support, which is definitely something that it'll get you that pressure, but not super meta, I guess is the word I'll say. But it's working out so far. All the pressure going the way of Lords of Ulster in this dual lane. Jingwei trying to steal away that Harpy, but not going to get it this time.
If you do remember, in the very beginning of this season, we did see another Gilgamesh support. I believe it was the VTubers support who played it, and he ran that entire game. So I think Flamio looking to do something very similar here. Lots of pressure coming out of him right away. But I am completely in favor of this Gilgamesh support. However, with the recent nerfs, especially to Guardians, this Sobek is going to have an extremely difficult part, not to mention against the Shiva, who is one of the most annoying gods to play.
Oh, a blink in from Gilgamesh, but Ganesha immediately on that silence to keep from getting drop-kicked right into the wall. It's a great play from Mustard onto that.
Yeah, seeing this duo lane run the same team back, this is going to eventually hurt, but we do see a quick brutalize out of here by Fenrir, who ends up getting rooted by Ravana's 3. It's a close match. The brutalize, obviously a huge damaging ability. And I think we're going to see quite a bit of aggression as the mid from Morgan Le Fay does not necessarily have the escape.
Yeah, no deaths yet, but we're looking to see maybe our first one here in dual lane. Ganesha retreating to tower. Jingwei getting caught out a little bit. Dash in from Charybdis and able to secure the kill onto Mustard. Indigo grabs first blood.
We see first blood go over into the favor of Lords of Ulster. I believe that was the same thing in game 1. So good aggression out of this duo lane right off the hop. Hopefully they're able to carry that through. We did see Indigo do most of the damage there in game number 1. Good little drop kick out of there to Gilgamesh to push the Fenrir out and manage to not get the trade like we had seen in the previous match as well.
Shiva over here looking to grab this blue buff, but Ravana rotates in. The pluck from Sobek as well going to come out just to keep Shiva in the fight longer. Nothing else will go on over there in the solo lane. Duo, all the pressure still in the hands of Lords of Ulster.
Yeah, Ulster doing really good job. Again, Chartabis really safe, but as I said, I'm expecting big things out of Flamio here. He really likes his aggressive solo support picks. Persephone over here by Lords of Ulster as well. Jaeger, not necessarily known by the division for his mid. He's filled in quite a bit for the support for this team. Had an okay showing there in the Zhonghui, but very tanky throughout. So it'll be interesting to see him play a little bit more damaging role here on the Persephone.
Yeah, like you said, didn't do a bad job on the Zhang Kui. Kind of built him more tanky, for sure, like you touched on there in game 1. So maybe looking to kind of build the way he's comfortable with. The ult comes out from Persephone, but nobody home on that one.
That had connected, it was probably a very close kill. Morganfly does still have ult though, which gives her CC immunity to get out of any of those vines that would have come out. So, you know, the mid laner Bill Gates feeling pretty safe. We do see the ult here of Fenrir.
Yep, Fenrir ultimate does come out, brings Ravana under tower enough for one shot, but that's not going to be enough to secure the kill.
Zealous playing a Fenrir, more ability-based god, not something I'm necessarily familiar with seeing him on, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. It's more standard to the AA-based, pretty much for him, or the Daji. So we'll see how he does with this more standard Fenrir. Right now, looking pretty even. You know, that 500, 700 gold swing actually in favor currently for Lords of Ulster, so they do have a comfortable lead. Warm Apple doing a decent job of maintaining his blue. Which we definitely thought would maybe be an issue over there in the solo lane. But so far, not as much pressure as we normally see out of Lambey's girls into the solo.
Yeah, but now here's the pressure. Is Shiva going to pop the ultimate, look to secure the kill onto Ravana. Barely getting away, but finally the damage is going to be enough. Down goes your wife's new boyfriend.
Bluestone was enough damage to tick enough out over there. Sobek looking to secure the blue with his ult.
And
was not enough.
Not be enough. As Shiva's
Bluestone again.
Yeah, really paying off right now in this engagement, building into that Soul Eater as well. Just be annoying.
Budweiser, you know, doing the first dance movement to extend the next ability's range and then popping the damage was just enough to catch Ravana. Bring him low enough for the Bluestone ticks to tip him over, so he's probably sitting at like 15 HP. Which, you know, might have been enough to get him away had it not been for the Bluestone picks.
Definitely looking at this match so far, about 6 minutes in. Lords of Ulster up just slightly in that gold.
Yeah, they did get the first blood, which does push it in their favor. So even though they just got one death over there, we are seeing the gold still favor them. I'm not sure if this is possibly the Ravana pick adding some more pressure onto right lane, but we're not seeing Zealous hunt this jungle like we do normally.
Solo once again paying off for Lambey's girls. They're going to be up in that solo lane. 2 kills now for Shiva. Which, by the way, did we see a Shiva back-to-back on either side?
Yeah, it was a Shiva solo the game 1, and now we're seeing Shiva solo game 2.
Few ults here. Down goes Gilgamesh as a Peach. Bill Gates able to pick that one up. Persephone ultimate comes out. Fenrir barely able to dash out. Ravana in pursuit, but decides to back off. Not one of
It's a good call there by the Ravana to not blink into 4-man under tower. As bad as he might have wanted to kill Zealous there, was not going to be worth value. We do see some good poke coming here out of Indigo.
Oh, Jingwei caught out just enough. Indigo able to secure that kill.
One of my favorite things about Chartabis is the ability to fight through the wave into the other carry. You know, her 2 lowering protections as well as doing a fair amount of the wave clear. And then the 1, you're able to just line attack through waves and hit the other ADC. It does give you a huge advantage, and we see it there. Definitely going in the favor. Indigo, who's 2-0, currently the only player of his team to have any kills on the board.
Yeah, doing a good job so far. And he had a great stat line, or at least damage-wise, last match as well, so we know that he can be pretty good over there on Charybdis. I believe I've seen him play Charybdis almost the entire playoffs. I don't know if we've seen him on anything else. So, definitely his preferred pick if it's there. And it was here for Game 2.
Yeah, definitely seeing good work coming out of both of these carries. Indigo definitely showing off quite a bit of control in the laning phase. However, we want to see what they're going to do in the team fight. We do see Fenrir jump in, however, with his ult, looking to pick up somebody. Beads is popped by Persephone.
Jumps down. Here's Persephone ultimate. Not going to land on anyone this time. Fenrir has to dash out up to Ravana. Puts the pressure on, and now looking to whittle down this Gilgamesh on the tower line. 4 members of Lords of Ulster here in this fight. What a block!
Picks him up.
Able to grab that kill. Flameo Hotman grabbing that kill. Gilgamesh ultimate comes out. They're looking for this Fenrir. They will get it. Chair Force, it will secure a kill. But in the back, Shiva rotates in from Soul Lane, secures a kill. Jingwei fighting for her life. Not going to be enough. Will go down. Beads, or not Beads, Morgan Le Fay ultimate going to come out for that immunity to the ultimate. Will get it. Now Charybdis on the run as Shiva in pursuit. Looking to finish off the kill. That's so much damage. And will get the kill now as Budweiser.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't know why Indigo did not just opt to attack. You know, fully stacked Evo's gloves right there probably would have been enough to heal him up, but was just maybe afraid of the chase down. Very good team fight from both teams, ended up even in the kills section. Had that Persephone ult maybe have clipped that Ganesha or Fenrir in lane, I think that was a 3-0, definitely in favor of Lords of Ulster instead of the more even split we see now. Lords of Ulster still opting with about a 300, 400, yeah, about that 500 diff gold, still that first blood difference only in favor of Lords. Lord.
Yeah, 5-5. I mean, now we're back to even pretty much at this 10-minute mark. A little different story than last game.
I mean, little different story in kills, but not necessarily different story. Both of these teams were pretty even through most of this mid game. It was once we got into that 3v3, 4v4 team fight sections that we, I guess it was actually that Gold Fear was the main break there for Lords of Ulster in game number 1. Hopefully seeing a little bit better of a team fight capability. You know, they opted for some different picks. Seeing a lot better reaction of this Ravana here, your wife's new boyfriend, showing a little bit more control. Roots, very powerful. I think Ravana in general is a really good character. There's not a lot of gods that counter, because he does have the 2 to CC immune himself.
Yeah, definitely. And are going to see the grouping of teams just being super important in this match so far. Gilgamesh jumps in, and a blank hits Morgan Le Fay right into the wall, but the ultimate is going to come out just for the speed and mobility. Going to keep her out of that fight. Ganesha as well, doing a decent job at pushing back Lords of Ulster.
Yeah, solo laners just doing their own thing. We see Lambey kind of just stealing that backline farm. We see Sobek opting to probably try to get the wave clear and the flower. We are going to see your wife's new boyfriend run into Lambey in the back line. They just kind of pass each other and keep going, it looks like.
Fenrir keeping an eye on this Charybdis, lying in wait. Jingwei pressuring, causing Charybdis to move up. They are going to box here. They thinks it's a 1v1, but here comes Fenrir into the fight. Charybdis dash is down, the ultimate as well. It's not going to be enough. Zealous able to pick that up with the Brutalize on Fenrir.
Brutalize at this point, having the full level points into it is just going to do so much damage. Opting for that Jotuns, giving some extra pen as well as that cooldown is going to just be that much more potent. So not a character you want to run into right now, especially if you have no way of escaping that. Brutalize with Chartibus 3 being down, she did not have any way.
Shiva gonna teleport into mid lane. Persephone ultimate's gonna come out just for the damage, but it's not gonna be enough as Shiva ultimate is out, but doesn't secure the kill. Under that tier 2 tower was just too much. We did see somebody fall. Looks like Flameo Hotman fell too zealous over in the dual lane, but Chair Force able to finish off that final kill on a Budweiser Cranker.
That is good. Getting the shutdown over into your jungle is very important, especially with Budweiser Cranker being just oppressive. Like, that poor Persephone getting chased down. She can't even root him under the tower because of the CC immunity from that ult, which lasts a billion years, it feels like.
Definitely. Yeah, Shiva's hard to play against because of all that immunity. If you pick up, a beads, it could be even more, but I don't believe we see that here. Oh, we do see that here, as he will grab that, but yeah, both these teams still really even. Look at the XP 50 right now. So
up and down, spike left and right, and we're back at the even point. That goal difference now finally in the favor of Lambey's girls, superseding the first blood that was given. But we're 13 minutes in, and these teams are pretty much dead even.
It's going to be fun to see. We start getting towards these Gold Furies, which we've seen one drop so far, but Gold Furies, Pyromancers, and Fire Giants is it's going to cause these teams to finally come together as full teams. And when they clash, it could go either way at this point. Persephone's ultimate, really good.
What was that double A? Fire what?
What did I say?
Giantses?
Giantses? Fire Giant? Lords of Ulster. Anyway.
Lords of Ulster. We got a Jingwei I wanted to note has a slightly different build than we'd seen previously, opting for Atalantis Bow there in the third slot in game number 1. Game 2, the more traditional build with the kin size here.
Move off going the way of Lambey's girls. Fender chasing Ravana, but the dash out with the ultimate is enough. Gilgamesh trying to keep Shiva in the ultimate and will do it. Beads finally get popped as Shiva's able to get out of it now. Sobek and Fenrir looking at each other, having staring contest for a second, but I believe
I'm
Sobek
surprised
first.
that they were able to get out at that blue. The amount of damage that popped in when Fenrir jumped in was quite a lot. Quick little pyro pickup over here for Lambey, who's looking at the first neutral objective after gold has been taken.
Yeah, will go down. That'll help the gold of about 2k, which is pretty minimal at this point.
They're starting to feel a little bit more of the pressure, though. We do see the teams grouping for more aggressive play. However, Lords of Ulster doing a 3-man rotation over into that solo to try to protect that blue was a very good heads-up play, and something we didn't see a lot from Lords in game 1. They weren't really looking to group as a team this early. We are seeing them adapt here, which is hopefully going to go a little bit more comfortable for them into these late games. But like I said, we're still at a pretty neutral point. Gold tipping over to Lambey's favor just now for the neutral objectives.
Rib is doing a good job for her team so far. Doesn't have a level lead, but does have those 3 kills, about half the kills for her team. And has been kind of winning these boxing matches with Jingwei, which has been super beneficial, of course, for her team. Ganks, though, have been coming out for Lambey's girls that have helped out their dual laner.
Yeah, and something, like I said, we didn't really see in game 1. Seeing quite a bit more here in game number 2. Zealous putting a little bit more focus into that duo.
And here's the boxing matches we talked about. Jingwei can't take it, and now he's a rotation as well. Textbook, as we've seen before. Fender ultimate gets popped and gets that chomp down onto Charybdis. 1 health. The ult comes out, but no, Zealous is able to grab that kill. Jumps right over it and just barely escaping the Maw, I believe it's called, from Charybdis. Now Ravana as well is going to go down, and Peach Bill Gates grabs that kill. And 2 kills for Lambey's girls in a sequence of 10 seconds. But wow, that was quite the play from Zealous. Just beautiful as the ultimate gets popped preemptively and then avoids the ultimate from Charybdis just perfectly.
A good little Persephone and Gilgamesh ult there to just kind of zone that team out. I'm not going to get a chance to talk about that dual lane until these guys decide to stop fighting.
Oh, look at the back end.
But we do see a dive by Shiva in the back, who ends up picking up a kill on Jaeger.
Is going to just get bullied, tossed back into that tower twice by Sobek and Gilgamesh. Here comes Ganesha as well to help out the Shiva, but he doesn't need it. He pops that ultimate to get that health back.
Yeah, okay, I'll get a second. Talking about that dual lane, Indigo obviously doing really well. Big difference here in game number 2 is those ganks. Indigo is winning these 1v1s. However, Mizu is getting the benefit of the assistance from Zealous, who seems to be coming at the right times every time to get that gank.
And damage charts, both teams have somebody up there.
Yeah, again, there we go. We see Indigo again on top of damage for the entire match. Indigo doing a terrific job, but even better job, I think, is Lambey's girls recognizing what a force he is to reckon with, and they're rotating and trying to deal with him a little bit better here in game number 2, not letting him free farm or get as many solo kills over in that lane.
Ravana going to secure these oracles, but not without opposition as Shiva comes in here. Morgan Le Fay as well. Ravana going to have to use that ultimate just to get out. Sobek trying to push back the Shiva rotation in. Indigo, as both teams are going to start to group. Shiva trying to cause some havoc for Lords of Ulster. Dash is in. Jingwei now trying to 1v1 this Charybdis any chance she can, and is winning. And Fenrir once again gonna
Who
appear.
comes again?
Brutalize
Nobody
comes
but
out.
Zealous.
It will get the kill. Gilgamesh as well looking low. Lambey's girls in charge of this fight right now. Fenrir jumps in. Everyone's low. Ultimate out. Not enough to reach for 70. Now it is, and will secure the kill. Everyone down but Ravana in this team fight for Lords of Ulster. And this surely will be his death. Good avoidance there with the immunity on his 2, but it won't be enough to save his life. Deicide on the side of Lords of Ulster.
That silence from Ganesh just forcing out the Ravana to just stand there and take all that damage really just whittled him down to nothing. Almost getting away into the Phoenix, but not quite enough. Good full push. I mean, chasing them all the way to the Phoenix can be a little bit risky, but with how low they were, I think that was the right call there by Lambey's.
Yeah, definitely doing a decent job. I mean, this Fenrir, man, is just coming at the... Like, Charybdis is going to see Fenrir in her nightmares tonight. I mean, it's just ridiculous that he appears at the exact moment. Obviously, she's the target, and just playing it so well, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, good recognition, good heads up. You know, he is currently top damage. Indigo holding top damage overall. But just not getting a second here to cast. He's getting 1v1 and then a quick close-in every time by Jungle.
Definitely both of these teams towards this right side of the map. Pyromancer going to go ahead and get pulled from Lambey's girls. They will secure it. And that snowball starting to happen even more for Lambey's girls. Fire Giant as well going to get started up here. Ravana going to rotate in, but he's the only one here. A jump in and ultimate from Ravana will keep him out of the fight. Sobek in an awkward position. But Fire Giant does go the way of Lambey's girls. And this should be a pretty decent situation for Lambey's girls. They have all the pressure. Now a Fire Giant. And they're going to be looking at taking these towers and especially these Phoenixes here.
Yeah, and Shiva ticking over to level 20, who's already been quite oppressive in these team fights, is going to be even more oppressive. Take a look quickly at what we got for builds here. We have Flamio on the Gilgamesh building into a Runeforge Hammer, opting for a little bit more damage than pure tankiness. Persephone is different than what we've seen in game 1. No defense items out of either mid laner here. Actually, we're seeing them both go flat pen into pen. Percent pen.
Yeah, looking to kind of maybe shred the tanks a little bit more. Percent pen instead of that flat pen.
Yeah, both teams having a decent tank as well as a pretty beefy support. Shiva is solo.
Yeah, Shiva's gonna go ahead and start this fight once again. Definitely been his game plan for his team. Solo laner doing a pretty decent job. 5-1 and 3 for his team. Down goes all the towers on the left, looking towards this middle tower potentially. Gilgamesh, though, won't let him have it for free. Dropkick is out. Silence as well, though, as he's getting completely shredded and will get obliterated there. Persephone ultimate comes out, latching on to about 3 members of Lambey's girls, enough for Indigo to grab a kill. Zealous does go down, and now it's a 4v4. Pluck onto the Ganesha from Sobek. Team looking to capitalize, but won't this time. Budweiser Cranker, though, able to dash through Warmple Pie as he gets melted down. Mizu as well, gonna grab a kill onto the mid laner. Charybdis barely living on the back. The ult comes out, won't be enough to save her life, and a double kill, a triple kill in this fight. And now this Phoenix is the only thing stopping them from approaching this Titan room as Lambey's girls get another.
I think that might be game. I mean, 10
Deicide.
seconds back and Flamio's there, but we got a 4-stack chasing down your Titan with minions coming in.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be able in time.
He's up, but it's going to be pretty rough. He's targeting the Jingwei, which is what you want to do, but the Titan is getting too low. Does try to kick a minion their way, but it won't be enough. And game 2 is going to go the way of Lambey's girls.
One last little pickup there for Budweiser Cranker to end out that stat line at 7-1 and 7. He was a menace, and that, my friends, is why Shiva should not be allowed to play.
Yeah. Definitely not fun to play against. Doesn't get banned out in game 1. Doesn't get banned out in game 2. And I'd be surprised if it does get played here in game 3. Go ahead and show you these quick numbers. And with that, we'll throw to a break and be right back.
All right. Okay, well, I guess that means I'll start it. You'll start it. However it goes. Welcome back to Midgard's finals. We just watched game 2 go down for Lambey's girls, going up 2-0 in the set, best of 5. So that means we have at least one more game to show you guys. And this one, a lot of things the same, but a couple things different, honestly. I think they had a much better chance here. I'm also joined on the desk here with Cowboy, Mr. Cowboy, I
Yes, hello,
suppose.
everyone. I know I usually do the intros. That's what I was expecting.
Well, either way,
Either way,
we see a pretty dominant performance, I think, coming from the Lambey's girls solo lane yet again. Budweiser Cranker coming out with a 7-1 and 7 stat line. Well, on the other end, a little bit of struggle there for Sobek from the solo lane. I would say that honestly, laning phase, you kind of yield it for Sobek. Honestly, he just kind of he floats. You know, he stays there, stays above water. Get it, crocodile. But but you know, usually much better in a team fight. And honestly, I don't know if he ever got his feet under him to actually be ready to team fight.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough game for the Croc. I agree. Sobek solo lane, that's, you want the team fight phase, but never get to it. Said it was a rough performance for Lords of Ulster, but they still have a chance to bring it out here as it is a best of 3. Really, what would you try to change up in your strategy this time, Sam? If you were the Lords of Ulster, that is.
Well, for the Lords of Ulster, I could say that I probably want things to stay similar when it comes to the dual lane, because, great performance yet again on Indigo on the Charybdis. I think Flamio Hotman did a pretty decent job considering everything that was happening. But they gotta find a solution here for Impeach Bill Gates and Budweiser Cranker and Zealous. Solo ADC, not solo mid and jungle. Honestly, they're doing really well. They're playing as that 3-man and honestly just kind of running this game. Indigo able to stay above water, able to actually get plenty of kills, do plenty of damage, and honestly force a lot of rotations into dual lane to keep the Lambey's girls even there at least. Mizu able to stay even because of the eventual team fight where got a couple kills there, but beforehand I think he was looking at a 0-2 before all the ganks came through and the team fight phase happened. So stay the same. I would say Charybdis needs to stay over there in the hands of Indigo. Change. I think they need something a little bit more early game. I know Persephone, good pressure early, but they need something to do damage and to punish the aggression that is coming out of this Lambey's girls squad.
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. That's and definitely if you're Lambeys, just kind of keep doing what you're doing. Um, Definitely just keep getting your soul laner on these pretty powerful picks and keep fighting through mid and jungle like they're doing, and they'll mount on top.
Right. There needs to be some form of punishment or maybe just a more late game oriented comp because it seems as if the aggression is going to be completely on the side of Lambey's girls, and maybe Ulster gets some sort of late game comp to, they tried that with Sobek. They tried it with Charybdis, and I guess to an extent they tried it with Persephone, but they're just it didn't, you know, it didn't work out for them this time. Maybe try a whole different comp here. Maybe change everything up. I would say but the Charybdis and see if they can't go ahead and extend this to at least 4 games here in this best of 5.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think with that, unless you have anything else, we can send this to a short break and we'll be back with the picking bands.
Oh yeah. We will be me and Cowboy will be back for picks and bans, and I just want to say, fantastic job, King Kerbis and Double A. You tried your best on that cast.
Back, everyone. It's Cowboy and Semantics back on the cast. Say hey to the folks at home again, Sam.
Hey to the folks at home, Sam. Oh, hi everybody. Hi, it's Semantics here alongside, as you said, Cowboys, and we're about to get into the picks and bans for the Lords of Ulster and the Lambey's girls. And
Yeah,
Clidna, just a little bit of the same there for the bans. They do not want to see this Clidna at all
I don't
in the
want to see
hands
it either.
of Lambey's girls. I mean, I don't blame them, honestly. That is my go-to ban every single time. But on the other end, Sun Wukong banned out by Lambey's girls, followed by Achilles and Scylla for the first 4 bans here.
Sun Wukong, big apple pie play, or God, and of course we've been seeing the other two as well. So just more flavor bands, getting rid of everybody's ace in the hole, as they say.
Right, and Clidna. Everybody's
And
ace, but definitely get rid of Clidna every single time. That is my motto, and I'm sticking to it. Zeus, gonna go ahead and get that taken out of the hands of impeached Bill Gates.
yeah,
Yet
Zeus just a
again.
big damage boy. Can't blame him.
Yeah, you don't want to take up the entire lane with an enormous ultimate doing big damage to everybody involved, especially with the team fight that you've been seeing coming out of Lambey girls. Lambey's
And pulling
girls.
the trucker horn on him.
Yeah. And looks as if they're going to go ahead and make sure Shiva is not in either side here. And go ahead, that's going to end the ban for Lambey's girls, followed by a pick for Cthulhu for Lords of Ulster.
That is a very strong pick right now. Cthulhu. We're not having this debate on how you pronounce it because I'll call it a different name each time. But he's very strong in the solo lane right now. Wouldn't you agree, Sam?
I would agree, and you are seeing a whole lot of him right now. Actually, Cthulhu, very, as you said, a strong pick and very popular recently. Honestly, with these nerfs coming through, anybody who has like just that big mitigations built into their kit is you're seeing a whole lot more play. Actually, gods like the Bacchus, the Cthulhu. Honestly, saw even a little bit of Hades.
Next up is a
Zhong,
Nimethith.
Nemesis.
Nimethith. That's always a
Yeah.
really powerful pick into the Cthulhu. I like that. Want to try to cut down his protections as quick as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Nemesis a really good counter for Cthulhu, and I would expect whenever these hunters come through, they're gonna probably get on a chin size as quickly as possible just to go ahead and shred Cthulhu. Already a really good comp coming out for Lambey's girls, already countering picks of Ulsters. So Ganesh here. Um, I mean, actually taking it away from Lords of Ulster this time around is Lambey's girls, Ganesha. Maybe we can see that piloted, on the other side there. See how that works out for Lambey's.
Yeah, I think they just got tired of that Ganesh silence, and you know what? I don't blame them.
Yeah,
After so many times of being silenced and the other Ganesh CC, it's just not a fun game. Don't blame them for
right.
taking it away.
Yeah, any
And
guy with the silence, not a whole lot of fun to play against there.
And in return fire, they chose Chiron and Gilgamesh. Uh, Pretty solid if that's going to be the duo lane again. A lot of damage.
Yeah, notably, Gilgamesh did come out for the support of Lords of Ulster last game, but still a flex pick. But knowing that Cthulhu is already on the board for him, I would assume Gilgamesh not going to solo. So it's going to be right now between the support and the jungle. We might be seeing it in the hands of Flamio Hotme again, but we'll see. But like I said, flex pick, able to go to several places. Still waiting for that last pick for Lambey's girls here for the first round of picks.
And it looks like it's going to be a Jingwei, so now they're kind of going with the ultra safe lane again with the Ganesh Jingwei combo. Always pretty safe. Don't have to worry about getting ran down or anything.
Right, Jingwei basically yielding the early game to this Chiron. If Chiron's going to be going to the dual lane, a pretty big bully when it comes to like the first few levels. Honestly, once he gets to level 2, he does a lot of damage and has a good amount of mobility, along with that ability to shoot basics while also dashing. Then we see a couple of bands coming through. The Persephone for the Lambey's girls, and for the Lords of Ulster, we're seeing Guan Yu. Did not want to deal with that in the solo lane.
I like those two bands. Definitely need to get that Guan Yu off the board. Persephone as well, and it looks like their final band will be Cabrakan. So don't want to see the Cabrakan again.
Right. Lambey's girls actually were the ones to play Cabrakan last time, if I remember correctly.
For the first time, then.
Yeah, yeah. They didn't want them to go ahead and take that from them, since there are a couple flex picks here in this comp. Chiron able to go to mid or ADC. Gilgamesh can be solo, support, jungle. Cthulhu could be support or solo, but likely seeing that Cthulhu in the solo lane. And just clearing all the bases, they're going to go ahead and get rid of another flex pick in Cabrakan. Anubis is I don't think this is going to get locked in, but right now hovering is Lambey's girls. Or maybe they're just pressing their luck a little bit. Nope, they're going to go ahead and lock in that Kuka lane for the solo lane. Going to go ahead and get that into the hands of Budweiser Cranker. Hey, maybe I'm even wrong there. Maybe we're going to see him in the jungle. We have seen him a few times, actually. Not in this set, but we have seen Kuka lane jungle actually come through a few times in this league.
Yeah, I think that was Captain Cab, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah,
Yep.
You're right. It could be the Kukulin jungle Nemesis solo. It'd be a little weird, but hey,
Yeah, no. Likely go to that solo lane with the Nemesis already on the board. But hey, with Cthulhu going to solo, could have go ahead and put the counter in there, am I right?
Oh yeah, just 1v1 on that. I don't think that's a rough fight for Nemesis at all.
Oh, it'll be a terrible laning phase.
Oh yeah, you would not have any fun at all.
All right, Izanami hovered here for the Lords of Ulster. This would be high pressure for them, especially if the Gilgamesh does end up going to the support lane. Pretty high pressure.
Yeah, and with that Izanami pick, I'm going to say that it's a Chiron mid, and Izanami in the duo lane now.
Absolutely. Notably, 3 physical here already, and then the Nox. See, we still don't even know where everything's going. I'd imagine that Nox is actually going to be locked in for the support there. Gilgamesh is actually going to be going to the jungle now.
I'm going to have to agree with you too, and that's some kind of weird Nox jungle pick. But yeah, I definitely I kind of like the team comp they're forming right now. It's pretty different, but
yeah, Nox actually notably used using the SBL by Awesome Jake 408. He actually took his first loss today with Nox against the Jade Dragons, but you're seeing a whole lot of Nox play and actually a decent amount of ESET as well when it comes to like the support roles. So I wouldn't expect this to be an uncommon thing moving forward. Rounding out the Lambey's girls comp is the Tiamat, notably banned last time around.
Yeah, I think Tiamat's just kind of your plug and play mage, right? And that's probably what they're just trying to do is just kind of get something that will that magic damage come late game.
Right. I'm seeing big late game here, with the exception of Kuka Lane, who honestly he can bully early and he can bully mid and he can bully late. Kuka Lane can honestly bully all the way through, but Nemesis going to be really strong late. Ganesha strong late. Jingwei just absolutely shreds late, and Tiamat same deal. Just very late game comp, I would say here for Lambey's girls, but I would not expect them to play accordingly. Honestly, with what I've seen, I'm still gonna guess for some aggression here coming from this late game comp. But on the other end, Izanami, Gilgamesh, Chiron, Cthulhu, and Nox to an extent. Honestly, very aggressive team. Um, and notably, Lords of Ulster did get first blood in the previous two games. So they're really liking their early game play, and they're just going to highlight it even more, I think, with this comp coming up. So I think their best shot is this comp for Lords of Ulster in
Uh,
these past three games.
yes, I have to agree with you, and I actually am going to give Lords of Ulster the advantage just because that double ADC and a Cthulhu to zone. I think that this will be their game here. How about you, Sam?
Uh, I think Lambie's girls. I think they drafted too well. Like especially like when you highlighted the Cthulhu being able to zone everybody off. I don't know if much zone is going to be happening when that Nemesis ult hits and like just the shred from Jingwei comes through. But we'll see how that works when we get into Game 3 of the Midgard finals here. And we'll take it to a break.
Hey, and welcome back. Double A has graced me with the intro for once. So, Smite fans, we're here with game number 3 of the Midgard Division Finals. We have Lords of Ulster versus Lambey's girls. How you doing, Double A?
Not too bad, man. We do see this is incorrect, as it is Lambey's girls that are up 2 in this match.
2. Lambey's girls taking the 2 previous games. We do see a duo lane returned again here for Lambey's girls, the Jingwei and Ganesh. Jinwei been losing in quite a few of these lane matches, however, still always ending up net positive by the end of the match, so more favorable in those team fights.
Yeah, definitely looking to stay with their comfort picks. Jingwei and Ganesha going to get picked up for, I believe, the 3rd time now, so...
More traditional Zealous play out here. Over here, I see Zealous ganking the dual lane, but also your wife's new boyfriend or Chair Force also coming over there to support. So 2 over in that solo lane, nice and early.
Yeah, immediately going to go and head that direction. Swarmple Pie is getting body blocked right now on his own tower line. Nemesis trying to shred him down, and enough is enough as he goes back into the tower. Gilgamesh as well.
Duo of the new mid? What? We see a 2v2 over here. Both jungles opting to stay. Minute and a half already.
Rage form engaged for Cullen, now out of it, but did look to pressure that Gilgamesh. Cthulhu about half health now.
Cthulhu is just a monster with that rage form transformation. Not a god you really want to run into the team fights. But good play over there by Lords of Ulster to not give up first blood and keep up the aggression. We do see a very low Ganesha. Lords of Ulster possibly looking for that first blood, which we've seen in every game so far going in favor of the duo.
Nemesis stepping up here in the mid lane. Gilgamesh not going to connect this time with the drop kick. Are you a fan of this double ADC?
I see the appeal to it, but I do feel that it is a sacrifice having no magical damage. Now, Nox is in this game, but Nox is a much better facilitate at reducing the damage that people take rather than dealing it. So I think it could hurt them quite a bit not having any magical damage outside of this Cthulhu, really. Because Cthulhu is going to have a hard time, I feel, against this Nemesis. So I think it can work in the right situations, but
Yeah,
I think it can be very difficult if you don't execute it 100%.
I think the big advantage, obviously, is you're going to take down towers pretty quick with the double ADC. Chiron able to do that somewhat as well, not as much as maybe some other hunters, but definitely going to be looking to get those objectives when they can, and potentially, that's their game. Instead of trying to go for those kills as much, they can go for these objectives for sure.
Here is the other good factor to this Chiron in mid, specifically the Chiron that I like on Jaeger, is that Chiron can be really safe. Got some decent clear. His dash does knock people out of the way. He's got the ult for CC immunity as well as death immunity if he is able to pick up a kill. So Chiron specifically, especially when you're able to build trans, and trans is very powerful right now, does give him a lot of freedom here in the mid, and I like that aspect of it. I don't think he will be killing the Tiamat too often, as it just has also quite a bit of escape.
Ox able to grab Jing away and now being whittled down as Izanami starts dropping those cleave autos.
Flamio and Indigo doing a really good job in all of these games, especially in the early game, putting pressure on the duo lane of Lambey's girls. Often we saw most of the duo going in favor of Indigo outside of those rotations from Zealous. It definitely would have been even more towards the favor of Indigo. So we'll see if Zealous is able to make a bigger impact as well in this lane once again here in game number 3 like he did game number 2. Or if Indigo is going to free cast as best as he can.
There's a change of pace from the last game. Can't speak. Change of pace from the first 2 games. Gilgamesh rotating over but decides not to take the gank. At this point, Nox, though, going to go ahead and grab that stun onto the Jingwei. The ultimate comes out as well. Going to connect onto Jingwei, and now Ganesha having to retreat. Izanami ultimate comes out but won't connect. Nox, though, tower diving. Looking to grab someone just a little bit more, get that damage off.
Good little pressure again. We're seeing a lot of focus over into the solo lane by both the jungles.
Blue buff does get secured by Lords of Ulster. Cullen in that rage form, gonna pull Cthulhu towards the Nemesis as Cthulhu ultimate does get popped. Nemesis looking to get in here and drop her ultimate, which I believe she did, but Jaeger able to come in here and get a double kill, and they're looking to grab a third as Tiamat is here, but everyone from Lords of Ulster is pretty low. Cthulhu jumping in now as Tiamat still boxing both of them. Cthulhu really low, so is Tiamat. The jump in, will it be enough? It will. Your wife's new boyfriend is able to pick up the kill. Everyone low on this map right now for Lords of Ulster.
Kind of what Sam had mentioned on the desk as well as Cowboy, that we really want to see Lords of Ulster play into what they've been trying to do, which is this early aggression even harder. We're seeing this team comp come into fruition for exactly what they want. They wanted the aggression, they wanted a lead, and they just picked up a pretty sizable lead, or at least a swing in their favor, getting 4 kills there. Probably the biggest early swing we've seen in favor of Lords of Ulster so far. So now it's going to be the real time and tell of what they do with this lead they've now kind of started establishing. I wouldn't say it's completely in their favor. It is still only very early in this game, but a 1,500 gold lead, 1,200 gold lead is still a gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, 6 minutes in, that's pretty decent for sure. You're not going to see anything too substantial just yet. Nemesis heading towards this dual lane as Nox is over here for Lords of Ulster.
Yeah, Chiron just looking to clear out that wave, get stacks onto his Transcendence. Yeah, okay, I was just making sure I looked at the wrong one. We do see a Ganesh ult as well as a Nem ult, I believe.
Nox tossing her ultimate the way of Tiamat as Nox is going to go
Frenzy's
down.
popped.
Chiron just trying to get a kill with the ultimate but not able to secure it with that last shot.
Close. So close. If he was able to get that Tiamat, maybe he only gets a single trade. Maybe he gets a double. Unfortunate there. Not quite enough damage.
Yeah, just barely able to not secure the kill, unfortunately, for that Chiron there. But
Yeah, Lambey's is able to stem the bleeding, so to speak, with those 2 follow-up kills there in mid lane. We do see the gold and XP kind of drop into a more reasonable expectation. We see it over here on the charts. Gold difference is only 190 now. XP 480 still in the favor of... Oh, actually tipped over into the favor of Lambey's there. For XP at least.
yeah, Lords of Ulster having a strong early game, like we've mentioned. For the past 3 games now, kind of had the control and then just lost it once we get towards that 12, 13 minute mark. So as we start approaching that, it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep this lead, at least here in gold slightly, and kills. But it'll be interesting.
Something we've seen Lords kind of struggle with all year long. They're a really solid team individually and as well as their laning phase. But ultimately, some of their team fights can be a little bit disengaged or scattered, which has hurt them often. And we see it here a little bit at these neutral fights, like you said, at that 13-minute part. And it's even more difficult for them not playing all on primary roles here and having a sub.
Exactly, yeah. It's not going to help.
Jager's been doing a good job, but for a team who's always struggled a little bit in some of those team fights where they're kind of an all-on, all-off type of team, sometimes they are amazing at that phasing part. But we're seeing them play really good in lane. We just hopefully can get that team fight kind of put together here in Game 3 as they're playing much smoother and have that aggressive format.
Yeah, Chair Force, to his credit as well, has been picking it up here in the last game and doing well so far in this one.
Yeah, pretty much, like I said, every one of these members on Lords of Ulster are doing really good in their lanes, as well as Lambey's girls, but when it comes down to the team fight, Lambey's is just executing it a little bit quicker. I would say that they're engaging on the right targets when they need to be, and they're doing it kind of as a unison team.
We are going to see both ADCs over here looking the box once again. This is just patented from what we've seen so far. Here comes Nemesis to ruin the party, jumping in. Will secure the kill. Zealous, you menace, as Indigo is going to go down. But
poor Indigo, always fighting, always taking the advantage, and what happens, he should just expect it at this point. If I'm winning, turn around and run around. Because if I'm winning these fights, Zealous is not far away.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to, maybe some more wards. Or like you said, just expect it, get ready for it. As you know, he's just going to be there.
He had a really good dive. He was able to get away, but that Nemesis having that double dash, just able to chase him back down. So good reaction. Just unfortunate Nemesis is going to get it.
Really low in that rage form, but Jaeger with the snipe under tower will secure that kill.
We do see Gilgamesh miss the up down as well as drop the ult for trying to get the kill secure. It did go favor of the mid, which is something we still want to see. Jaeger 3-1-1. Significantly stronger showing here on the mid. Definitely feeling a little bit more comfortable.
Yep, Pyromancer now. Gonna go
good answer back. They lost the Gold Fury, so they're going over towards the Pyro.
Oh, Nox, be careful, as everyone's having trouble pulling this Pyromancer. Two members of Lords of Ulster are low. They will get it thanks to Chiron's HP bar.
And luckily, Lambey's did not show up to check that Pyromancer. They just opted to grab some more farm for their side, so. We're able to snag it without anybody falling. Was a very risky play, but ended up paying off for the Lords of Ulster team here.
The ADC's teeing up. They're looking for each other once again. But Izanami just going to go for that camp instead. Jingwei approaching. Going to back off.
Indigo trying his best to get that flower without stepping into the wind from Jingwei. Was able to actually have to step in for it, but he was trying his best to snag it without getting the damage.
Yeah, what a storyline over there in the dual lane so far. Lambey's girls going, the same gods this entire set, whereas we've seen Lords of Ulster switch it up for the most part, except for the Charybdis not showing up here in Game 3.
Yeah, and we're seeing, pretty much the same standard-esque picks. Izanami's super aggressive, has the similar ability to poke through the wave to the other ADC, just like we saw in Charybdis.
Oh, there we go. Izanami playing this one sort of correctly. Here's the ultimate from Zealous and another kill as he's terrorizing this dual lane.
Good job on Indigo to kind of play onto that tower line. Unfortunately, that blink and 2 from Nemesis there from Zealous was just too much damage.
Raider Scorpion started up for Lambey's girls. Gilgamesh rotating over, but potentially looking to grab a steal. Not going to get there in time. But both these teams playing this a little bit slower, less aggressive than the past 2 games. Only about 9 kills here in the first 12-13 minutes.
Yeah, 4 to 7 was what the stat line we were looking at before. Lords of Ulster still up in the kill department over here. Gold-wise, we are seeing it shift again into Lambey's favor, about 1,300. Nothing astronomical at this point. We also saw Lords of Ulster up 1,200, so definitely shiftable. We are going to have to see some of those neutral contestations. I know that they opted to give the Gold Fury there and take Pyro, which I believe was probably the right choice, but having those double ADCs, hopefully they're able to shred these neutral farms a little bit faster, secure some more gold in their favor, try to get this match, a little bit closer to the 20-minute mark when they look for Fire Giant.
Coordination from Lambey's girls is going to help them secure this blue buff, but Nemesis not coordinated enough to miss that dropkick from Gilgamesh as we see Cthulhu ultimate and Gilgamesh ultimate trying to secure this kill on a Nemesis, but she's going to dash away. I believe she gets out. Ganesha as well trying to peel Kakulin though. Not going to give up on the Gilgamesh. This Budweiser Cranker had some great stat lines in the past 2 games, looking to have another great one here in this match. If he can get the kill, but doesn't look like he can, and now here comes the rest of Lords of Ulster back protecting their buddy. Dashed out from Cthulhu, Kakulin will keep him out of the Cthulhu stun. As Tiamat and Gilgamesh are still in this fight, only 2 or 3 members of Lords of Ulster here want to participate.
Zealous is back from base here, looking to possibly chase down a couple kills. However, 2 of his members are relatively low and they're having to back, so that might be the end of this fight. However,
oh no,
Jäger getting caught out, silenced over here from the Ganesh, and that's enough damage out of Zealous with those attack cancels thanks to Hydras, getting him the kill.
Yeah, Nemesis with Hydras is so potent, especially if you have that ultimate. So definitely working out there. Jingwei boxing with Izanami. The dash out won't be enough. Indigo says, finally, I can grab you when we fight one-on-one. And
Zealous mentioning that previous fight at the tower line, he was mentioning Mizu should probably int and get the bait. We're seeing Mizu here try to take that one-on-one. No Zealous there to back, and Indigo does take the kill.
Yeah, it's quite the storyline we've seen throughout the set, but finally works out for Indigo once again. Playing really well for his team, had some of the most player damage. When he gets online, it's definitely helped out Lords of Ulster immensely. So definitely going to help him in that department. 2-2-0 right now. Not doing too bad for himself.
Yeah, I'd say the storyline here, we're seeing a lot better showing from the team in general. A lot more positive stat lines.
About to be a lot worse. Izanami ultimate comes out, but the claws of that sword are going to go ahead and finish off Izanami.
That Hydra's proc's just doing so much damage from that Nemesis. Just able to slow, chase, follow, and just do a huge amount of damage. We do see the Cthulhu able to secure his blue this time around. No gank from a Nemesis on this side of the map as he was left side, getting that kill onto Indigo.
Are those 3 wards over on Cold Fury for Lambey's girls?
I feel like they're just dropping wards on top of each other.
Is that the
for
sentry?
The sake?
Yeah. It is a sentry gonna get dropped there. Imagine seeing 3 wards and going, what the
Oh,
heck?
that's I have the jungle there for Nemesis.
Oh, you're right. Okay, my bad. But definitely would have been interesting. But
lots of sentry wards, however, out here from Lambey's girls. If we notice right away, we got 2, 1 deep onto the side of Lords of Ulster, and 1 in that Gold Fury pit. Clearly looking for control of vision, and definitely having it.
Gold Fury going to be the tail as both teams start to head this direction, fighting for power for this Gold Fury. Gilgamesh comes with a dropkick, but gets immediately shredded. Gonna have to pop that ultimate for safety, but it won't be enough. Buzzweiser will break through and grab the kill. Cthulhu ultimate comes out, but Nemesis right back in his face, just trying to shred him down and keep Cthulhu off the team. Izanami ultimate doesn't connect, as well as Nox will grab Nemesis, and the root comes out for Cthulhu. Dashing in, but hits a wall, and I don't believe he's going to be able to engage once again. And looks like everyone but Gilgamesh is going to live in that sequence. Oh! Before I say that, as Jingwei going to knock up Cthulhu, but does reach safety of the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, looking at that map, I am seeing a lot of red wards. I see a couple blue placements. but pretty much everywhere I see a blue ward, I see a red ward. So vision definitely going in favor of Lambey's girls currently. Gold tipping over in their favor at 35k, just a steady decline along with the XP. And that's with Gold Fury still currently up. Lambey's probably looking to position and take that as they do have vision control.
Golden Fury. Let's go. But yeah,
Clip it or it didn't happen.
But yeah, Lords of Ulster fighting back in this game. I mean, what hasn't changed is they do have 2 members at the top of the player damage. So, I mean, they're dealing that damage. They just need to be able to capitalize and team fight a little bit better.
Let's see those damage charts again there. Yeah, see, what has changed is we're seeing 2 at the top of that chart. Typically, we're only seeing Indigo there, but both Indigo and Jäger both sitting at the top.
Gilgamesh.
And we do see a dive in from Gilgamesh, who's going to possibly get punished, and he is. Nemesis ult coming onto the Cthulhu.
The ult systematically from Zealous onto Cthulhu once again. That Nemesis ult so potent as he does go ahead and grab a kill. Nox rotating in, but Jäger will fall just before he can reach the safety of his support.
It is a 3-for-1 trade in favor of Lambey's girls, who already have a steady incline of gold. We're going to see is that mid tower that falls, goes into the pockets as well as Lambey's, and left barely holding on by a thread.
Yeah, no engagement here yet for this Fire Giant. Over almost 20 minutes in.
Oh, Flamio, I now see why you got the top ward coverage. You and my boy Tomahawk, both big fans of the Chalice of Oracles, or what is it? Or Chalice Oracles? What now? I
believe
don't
it's
even
Chalice
know.
Oracles.
Whatever. Yeah, more vision. Opting to back for that. Only 1 sentry ward in hand, currently in the hands of the Gilgamesh. Looks like gold is going to be pulled here by Mizu.
Zealous level 19, highest level in the match. Stalking Izanami as she's trying to secure that purple buff. In the background, we see Primal Fury as well, going to go ahead and get secured by Lambey's girls. Chiron does rotate over, lots of damage out. The 2 not enough to finish him off, barely living. The ultimate will secure as Jäger does get the kill, but right back, and Peach Bill Gates able to fight him off and grab a kill.
At this point, that shutdown might have been worth it, but not now.
Yeah, Cthulhu ultimate is here. Does Nemesis have... Nemesis isn't in the fight, so no ultimate to be had onto this Cthulhu ultimate, and he's wreaking havoc onto the Jing Wei.
You see a late frenzy popped. Is it enough to possibly secure 1 more kill? And it is. Indigo picking up the kill onto Mizu, and another one for Flamio onto Mustard.
Turn right back around as Lords of Ulster winning that fight. You wouldn't think they would at the start of that, but definitely pulling it in their favor. Warm Apple Pie as well in between these towers, looking to engage with his buddy from the solo lane.
The question is now, what do they do? No neutral farm currently up. Fire Giant is the only thing, but can you really look at the Fire Giant in the current standings? I mean, your Izanami is almost 20, so maybe you do.
Yeah, it's a tough one. You do have that Chiron as well to help out. I think they could definitely pull it. It's just going to be whether they can pull it and be quick enough before Lambey's girl shows up.
The thing is, for how long that just took to take the Scorpion, I don't know if they have the damage to look at Fire Giant fast enough right now.
Yeah, definitely gonna be interesting. They don't pull it here. 21 minutes in and still nobody's touched Fire Giant. Both big fights have been towards that Gold Fury.
I think every one of the first Fire Giants that go pretty much have ended the game. So I hope Lords of Ulster are looking over to contest this. Normally I don't say you contest a Fire Giant this early, but it has been so impactful, and Lambey usually just runs it down with it, so they might have to look to actually fight in an uncomfortable situation.
Nemesis kicked into a wall and then immediately grabbed by Nox, keeping her in place. But both teams, like you said, here we go. They're going to go ahead and posture around this Fire Giant. Everyone here minus Jing Wei, but she'll make her way here.
Yeah, and very quickly, unfortunately, due to that passive.
Yeah, Gilgamesh being jumped on once again. Warple Pie, though, there with the artillery for support as Lambey's Girls is going to back off for the moment. Cullen, though, stepping up. They will win the War of the Wards, as Lambey's Girls does finish off the Sentry Ward. But here comes Ganesha engaging Cullen as well, going to jump right in. The Nemesis ult gets dropped onto your wife's new boyfriend and will cause his death. Rage Form fighting over here. Zealous going to cause Cthulhu another headache as he does go down. The ult from Jaeger won't be enough to secure a kill, and now Lambey's Girls march their way to Fire Giant.
Yeah, with them having all 5 members still up, I believe this is just a Fire Giant in favor of Lambey's Girls. So, Lords of Ulster is going to have to do one heck of a defense, possibly just lose all their towers and farm up.
Oh, Nemesis, though, doesn't care about who's here looking to fight this Izanami, but getting worse for wear. Cullen as well stepping up. Mustard goes down to Fire Giant, unfortunately, for Lambey's Girls. Another unfortunate event is Zealous gets picked up by Indigo. Finally
Chiron did end up cutting that Nemesis off as she was trying to run away. Zealous was not able to get away. Very good positioning there from the Chiron to make sure that the Zealous did not get away with Fire Giant for that blink engagement.
Jaeger up pretty far in the mid lane, gonna have to dash out as Tiamat drops a few abilities here. But yeah, everything going the way so far of Lambey's Girls. Here past this 22-minute mark. 3 members with Fire Giant. Definitely the 3 you'd want, maybe minus Jungle with that buff. So they're going to look to approach these towers for sure, or at least get some pressure against Lords of Ulster.
Yeah, they'll probably wait for Zealous to spawn in before they do some crazy posturing. I mean, they do have Fire Giant for quite a while. Not look to press it too hard because they definitely don't want to lose it on the carries and kind of make that a moot point. But we do have only 2 members currently for Lords of Ulster over here in the left lane, and it seems like the rest of the team from Lambey's is kind of shifting this way.
Yeah, you can feel that they're behind. They're just trying to secure that farm where they can, everywhere possible. Gilgamesh
Indigo is level 20 though to note, and does
Chiron
have
as well.
the relic upgrade, so we do see 2 of their ADCs, their main damage makers, at that level 20 mark. Could be very important for the team to make this defense. I hope they only put up kind of a soft defense here at this T1 and or T2 and move back to really defend the Phoenix. But Lambey's not looking to really commit fully, so hopefully they don't overcommit. This will be a big win for them if they're able to buy a lot of time here.
Cullen pressuring Gilgamesh, taking him down a few notches in his health bar. Nox trying to grab somebody here. Will silence the Ganesh. Here comes Cullen, though, going to pressure the back line. Looks at Izanami. Now he's going to look at Chiron. On the other side, we see Cthulhu trying to fight back, but 3 members of Lambey's Girls will get the kill, and another onto that Gilgamesh, and now everybody's on the run for Lords of Ulster. This could be a bad situation. Nemesis pressuring Izanami will get the kill. Nox as well on the run. Down goes Jaeger, and Budweiser Crank are able to finish off the last kill and secure that Dia side as they're going to approach this middle Phoenix.
It's unfortunate to see. Yeah, the Lambey's Girls was just hoping for that. They wanted them to step out of that tower. They wanted that 6-man eliminated so that they could really flex that Fire Giant. And Lords of Ulster kind of took the bait, and it looks like they might lose a Phoenix, possibly the game here.
Oh, here we go. This is
end
it.
the set.
For the title, are they able to secure it? Nobody's up for 8 seconds, and it's just going to be the jungler. So down goes the Titan, and Lambey's Girls come out as your Midgard Division champions.
Congratulations, Lambey's, on the well-played 3-0. Good fight, Lords of Ulster. Incredible early game showing in lane pressure. MVP for you guys, definitely. Indigo playing fantastic. Good showing, Jaeger. Great job on the support. Lambey's overall, you guys did really good, and I'm sure the desk will have more to touch on it, but congratulations, guys, on the victory.
We'll go ahead and show you the stats for that last game. Head over to the desk, and I believe we might even have an interview with a few members of Lambey's Girls. But we'll be right back.
Of course, this is Cowboy and Sam Antics for the last time tonight. Don't be getting too sad. Don't worry, we got plenty more games coming up. But this was a 3-0 for the Midgard Championships, and it goes to Lambey's girls. What all did you take away from that game, Sam?
First off, I would say congratulations to Lambie's girls. Able to close out this set in just 3 games. Go ahead, clean sweep it, and like you said, come out the champions. What I saw honestly was, I mean, obviously they played all 3 games really well. But this time specifically, I think they did a lot better job of shutting down Indigo early. Indigo was a problem, honestly, for Lambie's girls all the way through. And honestly, the biggest and the biggest speed bump they had to get over in order to get themselves to this championship. And Zealous, I believe, did a really good job this time coming around and getting those ganks, with Mizu maybe baiting a little bit for Indigo, and Zealous just coming through and knocking down Indigo, closing down any kind of aggression that he had, and honestly still came out pretty well. But that's what I had to take from this game, that the thing that they might have been lacking a little bit was shutting down Indigo in the first 2, and then this 3rd game they made it no doubt at all. We play our game. This is how we're going to do it. And they even made a little adjustment and made it even quicker for them. Fantastic 3rd game. I do think that Lords of Ulster, to their credit, had a really good game 3 comparatively. And we actually do have a member of the Lambey's girls here with us. Lambey himself, Mr. Budweiser Cranker, in game. Hello.
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. Fantastic play here out of the solo.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I would say, well, oh man, it's between what, the Guan Yu and the Shiva, your most dominant performance, I would say. Honestly, both huge performances. Coming from the solo lane there. But Guan Yu, I think, ultimately came out 8-0, didn't he, in that first game?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The Guan Yu was a little bit funny. We were choosing between King Arthur, Osiris, and Guan Yu, and I did eeny, meeny, miny, mo to pick which one I wanted. And,
Yes, of course.
The Divine's blessings worked out because the Guan Yu kind of popped off.
Yeah, absolutely.
It worked out.
You wanna take us through a little bit of your personal experience in this set here? You can narrow it down to 1 game, or just the whole thing altogether. How was it laning first off against Warm Apple, and then coming to the team fight?
Well, the laning phase was a little bit stretched out. Like there was conflict, but I felt like he was trying to play a little bit safe. So I was trying to take any kind of lead I could get, like getting blue buffs, proxying wave whenever possible, and ultimately just playing gods that have more aggression than he does. Like obviously the Shiva, you can't really do too much into that. Guan Yu counter Shiva pretty well, so I wanted to pick counter picks so I can take that pressure and apply it elsewhere. Like I had a couple good rotates to mid lane and team fights. So I was mostly looking for their backline, just try not to give their ADC any room to breathe. Same thing with their mid laner.
Right, just doing the solo thing. Yeah, notably Sobek and Cthulhu picked for Warm Apple. So yeah, he was geared a little bit more towards the team fight, I think, more than the laning phase, I would say. And I think you did both well. Honestly, you did the laning phase. You got some proxying on, like you said, and then came through and had huge team fights. Got good kills, dove the carries, made sure they weren't even part, or just zoned the tanks as well. You kind of did it all there today.
Thank you. We did a lot of practicing for this. This was our first season in Animosity, and we're real excited to be playing here, and we're just excited for the opportunity. And we're happy that all of our practice paid off. We were screaming quite a bit, and it's nice to see it all come to fruition.
Yeah, I personally want to say congratulations. And how about you, Cowboy? You have any questions, anything to add here for Budweiser or Lambey?
No, I think you pretty much summed it all up. Congratulations, Lambey, on being the Season 2 Midgard champ, so.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm going to kick it over to Double A here because, we're going to let him close this whole thing out.
Alrighty, thanks guys. I know we said it a lot, but congratulations to Lambey's girls. Great set. Showed they were dominant. I believe came in at the 3rd seed as well. So it was fun seeing them come in here, have a great upset victory at the start of the playoff tournament and then finishing it out here in the finals. What a great performance from them. So it's great to see them here. But I think with that, yeah, please go ahead and make sure to follow the Twitch channel. All this action happens through our Discord, so please check that out. The link is in the description as well. It was really fun seeing these guys, so thank you to the casters for helping me do this, as well as the players. It's always fun to watch you guys. And I think with that, I'm just going to sign off. Thanks, guys.